Nice
Teachers are
little slap on the way out.
He loved saying it. This is a big moment, I reckon. Like, we're entering this new phase. The eastern states heading towards back to school. Victoria and Tasmania finally starting to move some restrictions. I kind of feel like everyone's getting excited about that. We naturally would, but I'm worried there's a danger that
we'll have a second wave because everyone will go nuts.
Yeah, not so much because of the rules, but because of the psychology.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It seems to me that it's a finger in the dike moment where everyone, particularly when you look north to New South Wales and to Queensland and over to Western Australia, they're all, out on beaches and they've got a lot of freedoms. I think the number of people out and about in Victoria at the weekend, you can't put this genie back in the bottle. Once people have decided, that's it, lockdown's over, I don't think governments can tell them to go back inside. I just don't think it works like that.
Well, it's the message, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Yeah. So even though the restrictions are easing, it doesn't mean it gives you licence to do all the things you haven't done in the last 3 months.
But I bet we all know someone who's broken the rules over the last weekend.
Certainly people, I think, are starting to get more relaxed, and even in their habits. Are we washing our hands as much as we used to? And, I mean, I've got to say that I was disgusted to see the protests in Melbourne and Sydney over the weekend. I mean, we're all going to be judged on how did we help or did we hinder during this crisis, and they were clearly hindering.
So here's the thing, because I watched Scott Morrison's press conference this morning, right? And what was fascinating was the number of questions that seemed to be predicated on the idea that, well, that's done now. Like, we should move on, a lot around JobKeeper, for example, and the phasing it out and all this sort of stuff. And he kept making this point, this isn't over. Like,
it'll be 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It'll be gradual, yes.
So is that what's going to happen, do you think?
Well, I don't know. Who's got the crystal ball? No one's paved this, walked this path before.
I think there's a lot of people who aren't busting, to get out.
You don't think so?
That's really interesting. I think that's true, that people are saying, I quite enjoy this. It's, family, we're all close together, we're at home, let's stay there.
But it's also a universal experience. So you're allowed to say no to things. You're allowed to not participate because we're all in the bubble together. Once all those pressures and pulls come back in, I wonder how easy it'll be to say, I'm not coming or I'm not joining you, I'm just staying home today.
Yeah, I agree. I think there are going to be a lot of people who hear the permission and they don't hear the warning.
Yeah.
I reckon that's where we're headed.
Well,